Night 2 of the USFA Season 9 entry draft is here. Welcome back to the Twitch channel. We still got a lot more names to talk about. Who is going to join the fold here in the USFA? I can't wait to see what goes down. Hope everyone's doing well in the chat. And I got the homie Caboose again here in the booth. How are you feeling? And what are your initial thoughts after the first night of the draft?
Well, I'm doing all right. Doing all right indeed. I'm trying to get settled in here just a little bit, but last night, first 3 rounds were pretty hectic. I think we had like 9 or 10 different trades within those first 3 rounds. So definitely has been an active draft so far, and I don't think anyone's really had a bad draft yet.
Yeah, I'd like to agree with you there. There's a lot of talent spread out through all these positions, and I think every team has gotten better. How further better did they get? That's a different question we'll have to answer for sure, but I could see the improvement all across the board, especially with our two newcomers, Toronto and New Jersey. They definitely got on a real good foot. But we'll see how they round out their builds or how they round out their particular teams going into the season. And there's a lot to talk about, actually. We're going to make it real short so we can get everything rolling, make sure all the owners are great. But there's so many players available, Caboose, from every which position. There's quarterbacks, there's halfbacks, there's still some great D linemen available. There's plenty of receivers, defense all across the board at every level. You could find your guy that could fill that hole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a bit of a shuffle here as teams kind of try and figure out what they actually need versus what's available on the board. I do believe we have more draftees and actual draft picks in this draft, so there might be a handful that go to undrafted free agency. But you know, that's an adventure in of itself.
But that also
But
means you can sign pretty much whatever length contract you wish, right? Like,
up to 3 years, there's no restricted free agency. If you sign for a shorter amount of time, it allows you to be kind of a journeyman right out the gate if you so desire. So pros and cons with that. But you know, I'm excited, and I think if you are ready, we can get this up and going.
let's go ahead and do it. Is this a little better? I gotta turn it up a little bit. Let me see. Let me chill. How's this? Is this a little better? Yeah, I got a little feedback in the chat. Of course, it's starchy. You know what I'm saying? He probably got some broken headphones or something. You know what I'm saying?
He probably do.
Nah, I'm just messing with the homie. But we'll go ahead and flip over, and I believe you said that it'll be New York starting us off.
It is going to be New York starting us off.
Okay, and it's 2 minutes per pick?
Yes.
Okay, so New York, you're on the clock. Let's see what you could do. And I have 3 minutes. Did I get the wrong one? Whoops. No? Okay, pretty interesting set for sure. Let me go ahead and stop and then do it again since this is tripping. But where does New York go from here? They've had a very, very good draft up to this point. They got their new quarterback. They got their new halfback. They got a great wide receiver to join that receiving core, and they also got two, actually. They got Kareem Washington and John Eldrezi. So they went pretty offense heavy. I think this might be a good time for them to circle back, go on the other side of the ball. That has been one of those things that's been messing them up. So what are your thoughts about going defense this time around?
You know, I think on defense, things are starting to kind of wind down. Some of the defensive guys are starting to fly off the board a little bit, and you're starting to notice a bit of a dip in talent. it might not be a bad time to go defense before there's bare bones to pick through.
Most definitely, most def. I'm trying to figure out why it is going to not go in the right time. Wow. Clock glitching.
No worries, no worries.
But the 2 minutes is almost up. I've still been keeping track.
Okay.
Let's see.
And if you looking at New York's roster, I mean they've got only 2 D linemen and only 2 linebackers. So I would assume they'd probably go there if they are to go defense.
Mm-hmm. Stop. There you go. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Tripping. What's up, Mr. Guy Clausen? Up in the chat. I think it's about that time, though. I've been counting the clock in my head.
All
They
right, all
definitely passed
right.
that 2 minute mark.
Well, that means it is an auto pick, and I'm going to go defense for them. But the New York Mafia are going to select with the first pick in the 4th round. Out of Arizona State, outside linebacker CA Junior.
CA Junior. So Junior 2 times. That's what I'm going to be calling them for sure. And he's definitely made some really, really big plays in Arizona State. I can't wait to see what he does in the big leagues. Shout out to the big homie there. And who will that bring up next?
That brings up Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay it is. And they've had themselves a very good draft as well up to this point. They got Elijah Nigma. They have Leon Kennedy doing this, Doug Thizzle. Who else did they have? They also have the defensive end, Slug Stern, coming through with some big plays for sure on that D line. So going very defense heavy. Actually, not 2 defense heavy, it's 2-1. But you see that the core is trying to get built there. That was one of the issues last season, trying to stop the opposing offenses.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that Tampa Bay, they've already built up an amazing um, front portion of their defense and on their offense too. So there's not a whole lot that they need to address, but getting some depth at say D line would be probably preferable.
Okay, still got another minute. Did they double back to the offensive side? I think there's still some solid halfbacks available if they want to see if they can find
No,
them. Yeah.
there are no more halfbacks available.
No more halfbacks? I thought there was one more. Tim
Mm-mm.
Carlson. Yeah, actually, I take that back there. And no more halfbacks. That's kind of a miss there. I was expecting them to get one of them, but can't be mad at that for sure. Tight end is still available, I believe, right? No. Amari
Who has Tampa
Jones.
taken so far?
Tampa's taken Elijah Nigma, wide receiver, Leon Kennedy, cornerback, and Slug Stern, defensive end.
Okay, so they did kind of address some of that at the ends.
And there goes that minute right there. And is another auto pick coming for them?
A little bit, but sorry, GMs are still kind of getting settled in here. So for whatever reason, the 10 minutes that they had wasn't enough time, but that's okay.
You love to see
We'll
it.
get them a nice replacement of something here.
Yeah, all the halfbacks are gone for what I've seen. Halfback Rashad Watson, he's going to New York. Let's see who else halfback wise we have. David Brewer is going to Tacoma. Halfback Austin Wilson is going to Canada for Toronto. And Tim Carlson was drafted by Huntington Beach. And I believe there is Uno Mas halfback that didn't I say. Actually, I don't see it right here. Let me just double check. HB. Yeah, there's only 4. Never mind. There's only 4 of them. I thought it was 5. So, yeah. All halfbacks are
All
gone.
right. Well, Tampa Bay is going to select out of TCU cornerback Loki Gunderson.
Loki Gunderson. And what position is that again?
That is a corner.
Okay. Loading up on that secondary. I see you, Tampa Bay. That's definitely not a bad move. Add on to the field with the homie Jordan Vinny and also their safety, Shallow Marino. So can't be mad at that pick for sure. Highly touted prospect out of TCU.
And we do have a trade coming up here. The trading will continue from last night. So go ahead and throw that trade alert back up.
Okay, let me bring that bad boy up. I see it. I just gotta edit. And there you go. What you got?
All right. Well, we have the Toronto Rates receiving wide receiver JoJo Tidwell Jr. From the Huntington Beach Voyagers in exchange for a season 10 second. So it doesn't have anything to do with the current on the clock pick, as it will go to New Jersey
We'll see what JoJo could
currently.
do. We can see what JoJo do here for this Toronto team. He was always that number 2 or number 3 guy for Huntington Beach last season. Either him or Moldy Cheese or Matt Grigsby was always behind the homie Vernon Mills. But I think that's a really, really good pickup there for Toronto. Huntington Beach feels like they're retooling for what appears to be another solid draft class coming up.
Yeah, as the pick here comes in from New Jersey.
Jersey. And let's see what they've done so far in this draft. They got one of the top quarterback recruits with Zaire Augustus, and can't wait to see what Rusty does for the big homies. Also, they have, let me see, scroll a little bit further down. It's Evanescence at defensive end. Wake Me Up Inside, indeed. And then they also have Zachariah. Actually, that's a new name. They messed up in the actual the creator. It's actually Zachariah Branch, but he put Z there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yes, that's definitely going to be a fun player to see at wide receiver, and that is all they've had up to this point.
Well, the pick's been in ever since we started talking, so
Oh, you love to see
let's
it.
let's flip over to that real quick, and let's get, I believe, St. Louis up on the clock.
Okay.
So with their pick here, the New Jersey Battalion has selected strong safety Matt Phillips
Strong
out of
safety.
Arizona State.
Strong safety Matt Phillips. Good deal for sure. As soon as I can find them on the board. There you go. A very, very good pickup there for Jersey. Trying to build that defense up. And you definitely can't go wrong doing that. So congrats to Matt Phillips doing his thing. That should, actually, no, that's Matty P2478, the user.
For sure, as we get St. Louis up on the clock here.
St. Louis, what you got?
Well, we're waiting, is what we're doing.
Good job. Good deal, Turts. What you got for us? But up to this point, they have free safety Garrett Hart. Free safety Garrett Hart, and they also have Fort Winnie Blunt Smoke, and also have their owner player Paris Glass at tight end. So they got a little bit of a duo there with Paris Glass and Ansel Tavian. Do they have anyone else?
Did they pick up any wide receivers?
Up to this point, they have not.
Okay. Well, I mean, that could be something that they could try and do. Just
Mm-hmm.
pick up a receiver somewhere.
Jim Bob, he slid down the boards. For whatever reason, he's still available, and he's definitely a highly touted prospect. Donovan Jones, another great piece uh, at wide receiver. And let's see if there's any other good wide receiver positions. Outside of that, there's Jackson Rodriguez, as well as all of the newly created players. Can't sleep on
Yep.
Actually, not Keith Simmons. That's help me there. That's Sean Justice, Connor Wellington. I mean, the list goes on and on for receiver if they want to get someone active.
Yeah, absolutely. But as we wind down here with the clock,
Defensive line wouldn't help. I believe they only have one player on defensive line.
well, no,
Well,
because they had that trade
two.
yesterday. Three,
Yeah, they have
three,
three now.
I
They had
believe.
two yesterday. Yeah, so they could round
So
that out with one last good rookie, getting four on the board. Can't be mad at that as well.
potentially, yeah,
All
yeah,
the
wouldn't
best
be a
teams have
bad thing.
four. For what I've been noticing, all the best teams have four D linemen. So could be a trend that pretty much all the other teams could follow. And majority of the teams could do somewhere close to that, at least getting three if they played their cards right.
All right, well, the pick is in.
Pick is in. Pick is in. What you got, St. Louis?
All right, well, out of San Diego State, we have wide receiver Donovan Jones.
Interesting pick. A lot of people had Jim Bob ahead of Donovan, but the big homie there is going to stay on the board. Great job by Nugs Bay doing his stuff. Thizzle can't wait to see what he could do getting one of the best players of all time to throw it to him.
For sure, for sure. As we move over to Tacoma,
It's so weird seeing Tacoma on the board. Like this whole draft is so weird.
right?
I'm so used to them like waiting till next season to see if they have picks. but but
Who have they taken over here in Tacoma?
they got defensive end King Maximus, their star defensive end. I can't wait to see what he does. They also have Kentrell Galden at strong safety, another great spot. And then they have middle linebacker Xavier Banks. So that's a great threesome to start out with. They also have halfback David Brewer to pair up with Lamar Davis. And that's it so far. Really good start to
Okay.
their draft on their side.
All right. I mean, if you were kind of to go in there and draft for them, and what would your thought process be?
Honestly, the defensive train has been working so far. One of their biggest issues was defense. So me personally, I wouldn't mind if you double back, add some more beef, potentially one more linebacker. There's some good pieces like Devin Hill available from TCU, and Mike Edwards if you want to add like another middle linebacker. I think offensively you should be fine where you could compete. It's just more about adding more activity. So I think if you could round out with good depth on the defensive side, you kind of pair off, if you will, if that makes sense.
For sure, for sure. As we are going to get the pick in here from Tacoma.
Okay, let's do it. What you got?
Out of Tulane, we have corner Kaiser Washington.
I'm very, very familiar with Kaiser Washington, and he is the beast on the block at Tulane. K Dubs, shout out to the big homie right there, and I can't wait to see what he does in the red and black. Tacoma got a really good pick there for sure.
For sure, for sure. As we move over to Huntington Beach here on the clock.
HBV, the season 8 United Bowl champions, kind of stole the show. You don't really expect that to come from the team that won the United Bowl, but here they are, a whole bunch of picks ahead of them, and there's so many directions that Ryan could go here. you honestly can't go wrong. But so far, he has Adam Leach at cornerback, Carlton Banks at wide receiver. Then they go a little bit further down. They have Josh Sawyer at defensive tackle. So they got the best D tackle in the draft. Can't be mad at it. They also have halfback Tim Carlson. So a real great trio of backs there with Levante Lewis up to no good, and now Tim Carlson. Carlson should be that number one for the future. And where else can they go from here?
Well, they're going to go to the trade department as we get that trade alert graphic up.
Oh, you love it. Oh, you love it.
We are right back where we were yesterday. Already our second trade in the 4th round. Go ahead, throw that up on there.
I surely will. What you got?
We have Dallas receiving defensive tackle Thomas Noble and a season will be getting the 43rd overall pick.
I think you broke
and
up
in
a
exchange.
little bit,
I said they're getting defensive tackle Thomas Noble and the 43rd overall pick here in the draft on the clock. And Huntington Beach will receive the season 10 second rounder of Dallas.
Okay. So this is gonna be Dallas's pick then, right?
Yep. This is
interesting for sure. Huntington Beach already went very top heavy here in this draft, and now Dallas is trying to double back and get as much as they can for the upcoming season. Can't be mad at them for being a little aggressive, and they get a solid defensive tackle here in the mix as well.
For sure.
So where does Dallas go from here? I believe they only have one or two players. Manuel Sun from the defensive back, and that's pretty much it up to this point. So they could use a little bit of anything to add on to this team. Definitely a great job getting back into the fold via the trade. But you can honestly go anywhere. Halfback, I wouldn't advise it. Quarterback, I wouldn't advise it. Well, I'm sure you would advise it, but still plenty of spots here. I wouldn't touch wide receiver. They have plenty of weapons there. Tight end, I think you did trade Dusty Rooks, so it wouldn't be a bad move to get a replacement there. And there should be a couple of left, like Amari Jones from Appalachian State. I know you hate me talking about Appalachian State. They pretty much stole the draft yesterday, but he is the best tight end available for what I see. Defense, you can never go wrong. And, going to be interesting to see what they do.
Well, the pick is in, so let's find out real quick.
Yeah, let's do it. What you got?
We have out of Texas Christian, outside linebacker Devin Hill.
Can't be mad at that. They have a lot of talent here. Jackson Storm. There's definitely one of my favorite linebackers there at Dallas, and he's going to be paired up with some really great players all around on defense. A great secondary that's steadily improving. Can't wait to see what they do for Mr. Devin Hill. Shout out to Sinister.
Absolutely. As we get Tampa Bay here up on the clock.
Tampa Bay. Keeping it moving here. And I think we already talked about what Tampa Bay's done up to this point, but
we have
a great setup here all around. Now it's just rounding out, just like we keep on talking about. What do they got?
Yep. No, they are going to be taking, as the pick comes in here, out of Arkansas, free safety Chris Davis.
Free safety Chris Davis. I'm not mad at you. Keep on rounding out with that secondary. I know for a while that is a big target that Venom and the gang want to take care of going into season 9. That was a huge issue. So why not throw some darts at some players that have the ability to shore up all of that craziness? Great pick.
For sure. As we get St. Louis here up on the clock for the next 2 picks.
Back to back like Drake. Where do they go
Uh,
from here? To be honest,
I'm I'm not really quite sure. They took a wide receiver,
Mm-hmm.
and now they've got kind of two more picks to work with here. They could continue working on their wide receiver group. They could, in theory, try and push some secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, remind me what they've taken again.
Okay, so for St. Louis, they've drafted Garrett Hart, free safety from App State. They also have Fort Wayne Blunt Smoke, cornerback from App State, and Paris Glass, tight end from Arkansas. And I'll see if there's anybody else. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
All right.
And they could go defense still. They could still try to find maybe, well, if that, it really depends on what Preston Dotson does, right? Like, do you kind of go and try to make sure that you pick up someone just in case he doesn't go, or
Yeah,
do you kind of try to keep the spot open for when he comes back and build around him? They're in a very weird spot when it comes to the secondary.
for sure. But we'll have to kind of wait and see here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as wait for that clock to wind down on them.
Yeah, got about 30 seconds.
All right. Where are we at on that timer? Because it's not showing up for me.
Yeah, there you go. 23 seconds.
All right. Well, the pick is in here.
Alrighty. What you got?
For the first of their two picks, out of University Louisiana Lafayette, they have strong safety Orlando Wolfgang.
Interesting. So they are gonna go ahead with the safety. As soon as I can find it, there you go. Solid pickup for sure. And will they go ahead and go double back, or are they still deciding with their second pick?
They are still deciding with their second pick.
Okay, for sure. Back on the clock you
Uh,
go.
Absolutely. And they've got three D linemen. They've got a couple linebackers. Um, they could, in theory, go with another corner, or perhaps another wide receiver.
I mean, more wide
Perhaps.
receivers wouldn't hurt. Building around that passing attack, they already have a really great run game. You can't go towards a halfback since there are no more. I would have said try to pair up, Namey, get him some touches with a real strong backup. But right now, there's still a lot of areas they could hit, especially on defense.
People in the chat are saying we are frozen.
I don't know. They might need to close out and come back into it because it's working for me.
It's working for me as well.
Yeah, just refresh. But let's see what's available here. So we already talked about the slew of newly created players that joined our league. It wouldn't be a bad move to go after one of those guys, especially if they're active. Greg Davis, Shea Tremani, Sean Justice, Rocky Butterfingers, Connor Wellington, all wide receivers. They're all chopping at the bit. Give them opportunity. I think they could do very well. Rayshawn Carter's still down there at corner. If you're looking for some good slot opportunities, Nathan Noble, wide receiver too. Is he related to Thomas Noble?
I don't know, but we are going to get the pick here.
Alrighty, St. Louis, back onto it. What you got?
We have a wide receiver, one of our first-time draftees, first-time users. He chose Syracuse as his college. It is Rocky Butterfingers.
We'll see if the name lives up to what actually happens on the field. But I've seen the boy play. Rocky is definitely sure-handed outside of what the name says. Congrats to the new homie. And I can't wait to see what he does here for St. Louis. He's got a hell of a quarterback that's going to throw him the rock. So the only thing could go up from there.
For sure. As we get, looks like we're gonna have Charlotte up on the clock here next.
Shout out to the homie Mix, and they've had a kind of a solid. Actually, I wouldn't say it's kind of a nothing. They have a very solid draft, headlined by Lakota Sentawakua. I think I got the name right. I've been saying it ever since they got drafted. I want to get it right. But MJ Witten, also at wide receiver, doing his thing, and then going a little bit further down, they have tight end Hex Waters. So see if they can help out with Vic Dotson. They got the tight end duo going on, and that's really about it so far. What are your thoughts on what Mix will do?
I mean, man, they could. There's a lot of different, like, many things that they could do here, but I think we're actually going to find out pretty quick here as the pick is in.
Love it. You love it. What you got, Mix? What you gonna do?
We have out of UTSA wide receiver Jim Bob.
And he finally got picked up, huh? I was wondering who's gonna
Yeah.
do it, and here comes Charlotte. If that isn't a steal, I don't know what is. He was worth the top 3 round. He's a day first type of guy. You get him late, early in the second day. You can't be mad at that. I think a lot of teams slept on that one.
Absolutely. I do have a interesting development coming in here, so give me just a moment. Keep them talking.
Okay, for sure. Just looking at the rest of the board, what teams still need a quarterback?
I don't know. Also, Anchorage is up on the clock right now.
Anchorage is on the clock. Well, Anchorage is definitely not one of those teams that needs a quarterback, right? So,
No.
New York, they got their quarterback. Huntington Beach got a new quarterback. Pittsburgh, all the crazy trades there, they got Money Mills. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Arizona now has the homie Action Jackson Jr. now. St. Louis has a quarterback. Tampa has a quarterback. Tacoma has a quarterback. I think Toronto's the only one left, right?
Yeah, Toronto is the only one left without a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, they can honestly wait until their last pick. I don't think anyone else is going to take anymore.
Yeah, as the pick comes in here from Anchorage.
Let's go and do it. It's going to get cold up in here.
All right. Well, out of Hawaii, one of our newer members, wide receiver Sean Justice, is going to Anchorage.
And that's
as we bring New York up onto the clock.
That's a steal right there for my man. Congrats to Sean Justice. He was talking about all of his highlights there in Hawaii. We still got to dig him up a little bit. I'm not even going to lie to you. But shout out to the big homie right there. I can't wait to see what he does in those jerseys. He's going to be looking fresh in the black, silver, and the blue.
For sure.
Who's it?
It is New York.
New York again. Okay. So we're in round 5 now?
We are officially at the top of round 5, yes.
Okay, so right now, as per the coin and TPE, is right now Richard Dickey is the top prospect available, which would be a pretty good indication that it might go to the homies in Toronto. But there's still plenty of players available. Andy Newsom is still available from Tulane.
This is true.
And Najee Wyatt, they're from UTSA, still available if you need a defensive tackle. Everett Williams from Fresno State still going on. Amari Jones, that tight end. Mike Edwards at linebacker. And then you have the slew of wide receivers and corners that just got created as well. Still plenty of talent all the way around. I don't know where they'll go, though.
Well, we don't have to wait too much longer as we get the pick in from New York.
For sure. What you got?
We have out of Tulane, strong safety, Andy Newsom.
And I did bring his name up for a reason. He's the beast on the block. And I can't wait to see what he does here for the New York Mafia. A great, great pickup. And it's going to be fun to watch him roll for New York.
All right, well, this would bring up Toronto.
As soon as I can find his name.
To the clock.
Where's his name? I lost him. I had him and I lost him.
Oh no! Let's get Toronto. Yeah, get Toronto up on the clock here. Let's.
For sure. Toronto. You're there. But yeah, still got Mike Edwards, a big slew of players here available. Chris Cook at cornerback. Chris Sunseri there from Baylor at wide receiver. Got Chris Davis. Actually, not Chris Davis. That's free safety. Take my Tampa, my bad. But Nathan Noble and Tom Bradshaw the second. If you need another wide receiver. List goes on and on. Still got plenty of talent available here for Toronto.
Oh no, I lied. This is Huntington Beach via Pitt. Toronto's up next.
Oh, so Huntington Beach is up.
Huntington Beach is up, and then it is Toronto. My apologies.
No worries.
I got a notification from Frey, who's helping us do transaction stuff on the back end.
True. So, my bad, Toronto. You'll be back up in a little bit, but we got the Season 8 champs once again on the board, and wonder what they're feeling like doing here.
Well, it doesn't take us too long, so let's go ahead and crank this out as Huntington Beach has selected out of UTSA defensive tackle Najee Wyatt.
And that's another great pickup. You already seen they lost Noble, or sending them over to their division rivals in Dallas, and now they're getting back into the fold, picking up where you left off. Gonna be a big place there for Huntington Beach to get after the quarterback. Great deal.
Absolutely, and this Toronto pick will not be staying in Toronto much longer as we have another trade to announce.
Oh, God. Here we go again. What you got? Let me go ahead and get it up for you.
All right, well, Toronto is going to receive wide receiver Darren Eliason from Tampa Bay in exchange for 51st overall, which is on the clock, so that'll put Tampa on the clock here.
Interesting pickup there. Toronto going a little bit older there in the receivers. We'll see if that works out for them, but Tampa Bay back up on it. Where are you going to trade up for? Well, you already got rid of a wide receiver, so I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It would be a good place to replace that with someone active. There's still players like Shea Dramani available, Connor Wellington, a.k.a. Star 6 available. I mean, you could go a lot of different areas. You also have Ryan Bandy as well. I seen him right before the draft kick back off again tonight. He's still trying to get picked up. You got Davon Carter doing his thing at wide receiver. There's a lot of areas you could go at. What is Tampa going to do is the question.
I don't know. As we sit here with bated breath, waiting for the pick to come in.
I'm liking this draft here so far for Tampa. Has been very, very nicely done overall. Working on what you believe is your problem areas as best as you can. I think the only thing they really missed out on was getting a solid halfback. But outside of that, like, you really can't complain too much about what Tampa did.
No, for sure.
Honestly, you can't really complain too much about any of the teams. I think everyone did very, very well. Even Tacoma, crazy, right? Even though.
No, I mean, yeah, even Tacoma, who surprisingly actually had picks.
I know, right?
So it's kind of a shocker for them, but
Mix is laughing. He's like, yeah, you just don't know. Like, we've been waiting for so long. Like, that gift right there. It's been 84 years. Like,
Pretty
it's
much.
been like that, waiting for Tacoma to get a pick. But they have their opportunity here, and they've knocked it out of the park for sure. Great job there.
Yeah, no, the last time Tacoma had a first round pick was back in season 5.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But they got 33 seconds left. Is Tampa Bay still got some things that they could do? Linebacker wouldn't hurt. There's still a great middle linebacker if you're looking for Mike Edwards. Great talent there. Nameless Nate from Fresno State. And then, of course, you still got all those slew of wide receivers we were talking about. Me personally, I'd go wide receiver since you just gave up one. And
Yeah.
that'll be the best move, in my opinion.
Well, the pick is being typed in right now, so give it just a moment.
For sure. I'll go ahead and throw the graphic up, and we'll wait.
And there it is. Tampa Bay has selected another one of our first time users who chose Arizona State as their college, wide receiver Connor Wellington.
Very good pick there. Again from Tampa, and got a real good pair of receivers to go up with them with Earl the Pearl Flint. And then you also got great tight ends as well available. Can't wait to see what Mr. Wellington does. It's going to be fun right here in Western Florida.
All right. Well, that brings up New Jersey up next.
Jersey. What you feeling like? This ain't Jersey Shore. They said they bringing out the tanks. You know what I'm saying? But
For sure.
But Zaire Augustus, do you add some more talent? I think this might be a good spot to get one of those active wide receivers again. Brian.
Well, we are. Yeah, there's a number of places they could go here. When you're a new team, you kind of still need everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
best available player, I think, is probably the way to go for them.
Mm-hmm. Right now, the best
And the
available would be probably cornerback, from what I'm seeing.
well, the pick
Mm-hmm.
the pick is in.
Alrighty.
So we have out of Fresno State, defensive tackle Rich Chatterson.
Wait, where? What was the name?
Rich Chatterson out of Fresno State, defensive tackle.
Okay. Shout out to the homie Rich. I can't wait to see what he does in the camo. Gonna be a fun ride there. Great job there from Jersey doing their thing.
We get Anchorage up on the clock, and don't wait too long because they've already entered their pick.
Oh, you love to see it. What do you got for the homies in Anchorage?
Anchorage is selecting also out of Fresno State middle linebacker Mike Edwards.
Yeah, I said his name a few times already. I was wondering who was going to pick him up, but that is yet another great pick there. Paired up with Parker Howe and Mike McAvoy. Anchorage has a very underrated linebacking core, especially if Mike Edwards comes to play.
Absolutely, yeah, I would have to agree.
I think Starchy's been doing his research. We can't be making fun of him no more, you know what I'm saying? Not like we do Turks. But great job overall there for Anchorage. A real great draft overall. And who is
All right,
next?
well, we bring up Tacoma.
Say what? They back on again?
No, they back on again.
This is the most draft picks we've seen for them in a long time. Granted, they did lose some of their picks, like trying to get like their defensive and offensive player from Beast over. So I guess it's finally starting to get away from all of that craziness there. So this might be a good time for them to retool and do a lot better. Mix is like, don't gas up Starchy his draft. Aight. We shall see when it's all said and done, but Tacoma's on the clock. Where do you go from here?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's available to him? Not worth looking at the quarterbacks, obviously. Cornerback, I think they're fine. They have a really great core, and I believe they already drafted one, if I can remember. No, they drafted a strong safety. So, I mean, if you think one of the big name cornerbacks can test one of the guys that you already have, it wouldn't be a bad pick. Everett Williams is there at cornerback from Fresno State. If you want to keep going back at the linebacker side of things, I believe Israel Watkins from Northwestern is still available. He's definitely a great player as well. And yeah, it really depends on where you want to go. Java Storm, if you want to get rid of some of your older linebackers from Baylor, he's available too.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Ian Gish, outside linebacker, if you want to try to get some pass rush going.
there's a number of places you could go here. Actually, it's really going to end up kind of Tacoma, seeing where they want to upgrade and get a little younger.
Cairo Ramsey, if you want to get another cornerback that could play a little bit everywhere, free safety, strong safety, corner, do a little bit of everything. Can't be mad at that either. Shout out to Slickus RB coming back to the league too from Abilene Christian, doing this thing.
Well, we're gonna get the pick in here right now.
Okay, what do you got, Tacoma?
We have out of Fresno State outside linebacker Seth Wallace.
Seth Wallace. When what's the Seth Wallace? There you go for Fresno State. Okay, I see it. Good job there overall. Adding on to that great linebacker core, improving on that defense. Can't be mad at it. And who's next?
Well, we have a small trade to announce here. Doesn't involve the on the clock pick, so Huntington Beach will still be up, but Huntington Beach is making a minor trade.
Interesting. And I do have it up here. Let's go ahead and get it up. There you go.
All right, Huntington Beach is going to receive a season 10 third-round pick from St. Louis. It is Dallas's third-round pick. And in exchange, St. Louis will receive defensive tackle Terrence Goldsberry.
It's an interesting pick for sure. I'd say out of all the defensive linemen Huntington Beach had, Terrence Goldberry was probably at the bottom of the total poll, but still very effective. He had well over 4 sacks on last season. So he's definitely still got some moves to make, and I'm assuming Huntington Beach might double back and find a replacement.
All right, well, we do have the pick in here from Huntington Beach.
Okay, what you got, Mr. Ryan? How you feeling?
We have out of Fresno State, we're on a run of Fresno State guys here. It is going to be corner Everett Williams.
And that is a very, very good pick there late in the 5th round. Definitely not one of the top tier cornerbacks available right now. It is, but within the whole draft, I'd say he's definitely a tier 2 type of guy, but he's definitely going to help out with that secondary, especially losing Ethan McWells and the homie Kaishawn Williams in the expansion draft. So definitely need to retool going around next Pac.
Absolutely. As we come up to Arizona for the next 2 picks.
Oh, they double backing. Okay, I ain't mad at you. But where does Arizona go? That's the question.
And they haven't been doing a whole lot of picking. They've been doing a lot of trading.
Yeah.
So
maybe all the users here in this draft should take a little bit of slight. Arizona don't think they're good enough to pick up or something at the top of the board. You got to work around the tier 2s and tier 3s. I don't know. We got to see what they do. But right now, they only have one draftee, and that's Tank Falco. Which, granted, he's worth at least 3 players by himself. But, you also want to build around your core as well. We'll see if the trades that he
Yeah.
does them any justice.
Well, we shall see. Still waiting on this pick here to come in as Arizona kind of trying to decide their future here.
And where did they go? So they already got a quarterback, right? They got Action
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Jr. doing his thing. Halfback, they can't do that anymore. Wide receiver, they do have Sean McGowan, but they also let Spike Tillman go. So an active wide receiver wouldn't hurt for them in Arizona. See what else they got. Uh, Defense, they could definitely use some defensive help, some corners, secondary help. They did get burnt a lot last season, and that's one of the main reasons why they
Mm-hmm.
lost. So cornerback could be a good thing. Safety, strong safety, free safety, doesn't matter. Get the best players available. And now they only got 10 seconds left in this board.
Well, we are going to get the first of their two picks in.
Okay, let's do it. What you got?
It is going to be out of Baylor, wide receiver Chris Sunseri.
Chris and Sari. Okay. Let me scroll down a little bit.
Oh, never mind. Hold on. They got a different pick in. They changed their pick at the last possible second.
Oh, you love to see it.
I apologize to Chris. As I was reading that, it got changed. It is instead going to be out of Appalachian State tight end Amari Jones.
Okay, so picking up one of the last remaining tight ends available. They already have Reginald Frome, right? And they also have Antonio Lewis. So they have a pretty stacked up tight end spot. I kind of like Reginald Frome. I don't know if that was particularly the greatest pick that they could have done, but I'm gonna let the homie Blue Blazer decide his fate. Even though Amari Jones is definitely a great player out of his in his own right.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. As we kind of wait here for the second of these two Arizona picks. Um,
And I think they could still double back with one of those young receivers. Jackson Rodriguez is still available too at wide receiver. If he wants to stay with the Appalachian State side of things, he could go a little bit further. Bryce Zerns at defensive end. There's also, let me see if there's any more. Outside linebacker Ian Gish there from Appalachian State. So if you want to stay around those realms, there's still a lot of players there.
all right. Well, this second of the Arizona fifth rounders is in.
Alrighty, what you got, Arizona?
We have out of Virginia Tech wide receiver Jackson Rodriguez.
I called his name earlier. Great pickup for sure. Shout out to the homie right there. And I can't wait to see what he does in the pink, black, and yellow. And gonna be a fun ride there watching them. What's happening? Who is
All right.
next?
Well, up next we have. Looks like it's going to be Toronto.
For show. And let's quickly review what they've got so far. They got the number one draft pick, Yogi Barr. Clear cut, solid pick there for sure. Can't be mad at it. A little bit further down, they have halfback Austin Wilson. Definitely a solid pick as well. And I think that's all they've had up to this point.
And we're at the tail end of round 5 here, but the pick is in from Toronto.
Alrighty, what you got, Mr. Crimp?
We have out of Abilene Christian corner Kevin Uribe.
Kevin, where are you? Okay, is it Uribe or is it Uribe?
Uribe, I don't know. I'm not the one who needs to know those things.
Amen to that. But congrats there to Kevin. Mr. Kev doing his thug thizzle. Can't wait to see what he does in Canada. Shout out to him.
As we bring Charlotte up onto the clock here.
Charlotte is coming. Will we have some people skipping their picks later on? That's the question.
Maybe, but I don't see a reason to do that.
Right.
Personally.
the more chance you could get rid of all of your bot players, the better. And you
Yeah,
don't have to sign them for like huge money as well. So I say take advantage of it while you have it. But
pretty much.
Charlotte has some good picks up to this point. Just like we talked about, they got Lakota, they got MJ, they got Jim Bob as well. Recently, they got Hex Waters at tight end. A very well-rounded set here for the homies. I think defense wouldn't hurt. See if they could add more. You know, I already know Caitlin is getting a little bit older. Maybe someone that could learn
Hmm.
from her. A young cornerback will help him out.
Yeah, and it's not like guys like Pac Drescott or Ricardo Lopez are getting younger either. So
Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. Kyrell Ramsey still available. A great corner pick. Rashawn Carter. And then Chris Cook as well from San Diego State. So there's still some great CB or defensive back picks available.
absolutely, as we still are waiting here for Mix to get his pick in for Charlotte.
Take a sweet time.
Yeah, something like that. Kind of like you yesterday, getting
Yeah.
the stream set up.
Hey, I had something to do. He ain't doing nothing. I'm just kidding. He's doing something. I like Mix. Yeah, we're going to get this rolling. 37 seconds left. In this particular pick here, Charlotte still has a lot of picks available to him as well, right? Or not a lot, but.
Yes, they do. Well, they got a decent amount, but the pick here is in.
Alrighty, sounds good. What you got, Mr.
We
Mix?
have another one of our non ECFL guys, first time users, picked App State as his college, and it is defensive end Bryce Zerns.
Yeah, we talked a little bit earlier in the first day about losing Lee Flowers. What are they going to do to minimize that? He was a top 10 sack guy, and I seen Bryce Zerns doing his thing. App State, he says he wants to make some moves in the purple, in the gold, in the blue. I can't wait to see what he does here for Charlotte.
Well, we have Tampa Bay up on the clock here via Huntington Beach.
Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay. Okay. We talked a little about it earlier. They had a very good draft up to this point. So at this point, it's just rounding out the loose ends here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it seems like they are going to do that via trade. So throw that trade alert graphic back up there.
Okay, mad at you. My bad. My bad, Tampa. Let me get it up for you real quick. Oh, didn't save it. There you go. Okay, ready for you.
All right. So the Tampa Bay Typhoon are going to receive inside linebacker Kingston Ali from the Pittsburgh Roughnecks in exchange for inside linebacker Makani Kakoa, the on the clock pick, 60th overall, and a season 10 7th from Tampa Bay.
Okay, so Pittsburgh's hit back on, huh?
Yep, so it'll be Pittsburgh coming up here at 60th overall, last pick of the 5th round.
Okay. Let's see what you got, Pittsburgh. Same thing here that we mentioned earlier. Definitely could use some secondary help. I believe their wide receiver core is pretty set. I don't think they need anything there, but I think more defense will help them out for sure. Any way they could find an active user, it will just do dividends for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Pittsburgh, honestly, they've had an amazing draft. They had an amazing draft last year. All the pieces are starting to come together, and I'm really excited to see how this team starts to gel as they make a push for their first ever playoff appearance.
They can only go up from here drafting this well, right? You know, there's still so many things that they need to work on from an overall standpoint, but the talent is there. Like, you really can't say that the talent isn't there anymore. If they don't make the playoffs, I'll be very surprised, especially with St. Louis moving over to the West. That leaves a spot open for one of these other teams to take advantage of it. Pittsburgh putting themselves in the best position to do it.
Absolutely. And remind me, who have they drafted so far?
And Pittsburgh, they have drafted Big House the third cornerback, and they also drafted another cornerback, Adam Lester from Appalachian State.
Okay.
Following that, they have strong safety Mother Dunn, Nittany Pete from Appalachian State. A little bit further down, they have also drafted wide receiver Guy Clausen from Abilene Christian. That was another great pick there. And the last pick so far has been Ronnie Shanahan, wide receiver from Abilene Christian. So,
Okay.
great draft.
Absolutely. I can't be mad at that one bit.
You see there in the chat, Guy Clausen already said, making the playoffs is our top priority, Key. I ain't mad at you. Do your thing. And I do agree with Wolf Gold there. Beach and Peach, solid flavor there. Me personally, I like Push and Punch, but Beach and Peach definitely in my top 3.
For sure, for sure. As looks like
Time's over, yeah.
time is up here, so Pittsburgh did not quite get that in time, and instead they will be drafting. Looks like out of Texas Christian University, defensive end Seth Welch.
Seth Welch. Okay, I see you, big homie. Great job. And once again, getting some more work after the quarterback, getting after the quarterback. That was one thing that they could use some help on. They already have Jerry Philbin there holding it down. Get him some help. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right. Well, as we move out of the 5th round here into the 6th, it brings up New York at the top of the 6th.
New York at the top of the 6th, and like I said earlier, still plenty of wide receivers and cornerbacks available. New York, I believe they pretty much have a full out wide receiver core, but I think adding one more can round them out for sure. Just to get rid of all of those bot players and players that aren't even active.
Well, the pick is in here from New York, and it is going to be from Baylor, middle linebacker Javad Storm.
Okay, I could be wrong too. My bad. Maybe I'll know a little bit more than what I would say, but another great pickup once again here for New York. One of their biggest things that they need to improve on was on defense, and they're definitely adding on doing a move like that. Great job.
All right, well, that brings Pittsburgh back up on the clock here.
Okay. How you feeling, Pittsburgh? Back on again. And where you go from here after such a great draft?
I don't know, honestly.
Me
I
personally,
mean,
if I had a choice, stick to what you've been doing. Go back to back on your defensive picks. I know that there's a spot that you could fill up, that you could add a strong, touted spot player there. So keep searching. I think there's one or two that I think you'll be very proud of getting.
well, the pick is being typed in as we speak, and there it is.
Okay, what you got, Pittsburgh?
All right. Out of Appalachian State, we have outside linebacker Ian Gish.
And look, I didn't tell him. I promise you, I didn't tell him. That was the exact player I was thinking of getting if I was them. A great pickup. Austin Wheeler is waiting for some new talent around him. And Pittsburgh's hitting their mark. Pittsburgh's hitting the mark on all cylinders right now. It's crazy.
Oh, absolutely. And we have, I believe it is Toronto coming up next right now.
For sure. 6-6-6-6. And
so Toronto here, they still need a quarterback, but as they are the last team, we might see them wait until round 7 to pick one up here. So
it might be the best move to go ahead and do that. They missed out on potentially all the active ones. I'm assuming that's why they're still there as well. But Richard Dickey still is great beast there. You see right there with 729 TP. So even if he was to just get drafted, he's going to be very good. So
for sure. But we do have a trade to announce.
Oh God, here we go again.
Dom DeMarco.
And oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh. Get ready for this one, folks. You want to talk about it? You can talk about it right now.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. So, Toronto is going to trade the on-the-clock pick, 63rd overall, in exchange to Arizona in exchange for quarterback Jim Carr.
Ooh.
So, there goes Toronto's quarterback need, and now every team in the league has a quarterback. Jim Carr going to continue his career, at least for the short term, in Toronto, as Arizona is going to go up on the clock here.
Wow. Mr. Jim Carr. He got shipped a couple times, but he's here. He finally made it. And I can't wait to see what he does there. And who's on the clock again?
It's Arizona.
Arizona. Okay. Wow. Where do you go from there? Arizona.
I don't know.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like this entire exchange was. I don't like it for Arizona.
We'll see what it tails out when the draft is over, but just very interesting all the way around. They have a minute left here on this clock, and just interesting.
All right. Well, the pick is in for Arizona.
Okay, what you got?
You know what? We're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on this one because the name that they entered doesn't exist.
Oh, you love to see it. So, back on the clock.
Yeah, we'll be right back with you.
Mm-hmm. But as we were saying, definitely still some wide receivers available. Got Ryan Bandy, Shea Tremani is doing his Thug Thizzle, Greg Davis, Drew Stowe as well from NCU, Davon Carter doing his thing as well. Hendricks 21, Yuri Lazar. I mean, if you want to choose a wide receiver, I'd choose out of that group right there. Should be a fun ride. Wolf Gold says Anchorage to the bowl.
All right, and the pick is in here for Arizona officially this time.
Okay, cool. What's happening?
All right, we have out of Arizona State corner Ray Swan Carter.
Ray Swan Carter. The Swan. Shout out to Carter right there doing his thing. And I can't wait to see what he does in the pink. Going to be a fun ride watching him battle out with the rest of the teams in the Western Conference. They need secondary help. They got it here. Great job.
For sure, as we get New Jersey up on the clock here.
Jersey. Got your quarterback of the future here. We already talked about it. There's a few really good quarterbacks that got selected here in this draft. Zaire Augustus. What are your thoughts on what he could bring to New Jersey? It's a big market up there.
I mean, Zaragoza is going to have a very, very intense fan base around him up there. So he's going to need to get off on the good foot pretty much from the get-go. And part of him getting off on a good foot is getting him enough pieces to throw to and make plays with. So it'll be kind of up to New Jersey management here to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
As the pick is in.
Pick is in. Let's go ahead and get into it. What you got, Jersey?
All right, we have out of Abilene Christian wide receiver Ryan Bandy.
Ryan Bandy. We were waiting for Logan, the homie Logan, to get picked up. A very, very great pick there. Shout out to the homie Logan. He finally got his mark. Congrats again. And I can't wait to see what he does.
Well, and with Anchorage going up on the clock, they make their pick almost immediately.
Oh, yeah, you love it. That's what I like to see. What you got, Anchorage?
Anchorage is picking up out of Northwestern. This is a non-ECFL first-time user. Outside linebacker, Azriel Watkins.
Azriel Watkins. Keep on adding on to that linebacker core we just mentioned about 10 minutes ago. They're going to be hounding quarterbacks for seasons to come if they all continue to be active, they gel together. Anchorage is very, very interesting in the Western Conference. They put a lot of teams on notice here tonight. Great, great drafting.
As we bring Tacoma back up for another pick, believe it or not.
Tacoma?
Be still my beating heart, right?
Yep. I'm still not going to forgive him for what he did to Preston, but I mean, so far they're doing
I mean,
good.
that's fine.
So far they're doing good. I'm not mad at him. I wonder if they just say screw it and trade away Sean Bridges. Like, I don't want him anymore. I want the new quarterback.
I don't know. I don't think they'll be doing that. But
I know. Do they drop one of their newly acquired wide receivers from last season and try to get someone active?
I don't really know. I think it's
a little too soon for that, maybe.
Yeah, personally, maybe just a little too soon.
James Peach, Chris Banks, and of course the homie Extra Magic. They have a really solid threesome right there. Maybe if they want to improve on their fourth receiver, maybe. But I kind of like Zorro Lunar as well as that number 4, great return guy. So maybe receiver might not be the best move. But defensively, they could still use work all the way around.
Yeah, for sure. As I believe the pick is going to come in here.
For sure. What you got going on?
It is going to be out of Arkansas, cornerback Mo Gigglebush.
Out of Arkansas?
Out of Arkansas.
Okay. Where are you? I can't find it. But I'll go ahead and click over to it. What was the name again?
Mo Gigglebush.
Mo Gigglebush. Okay. Kind of one of the lower touted defensive players in regards to the TPE, in regards to the elite coin, but he still has a lot of talent. Sharon Byrne, I recognize that name from a lot of sim leagues. I think he's going to make some noise here in Tacoma. Shout out to him.
As we get New Jersey back up on the clock here with the 67th pick of the draft.
New Jersey doing their thing. What you got? Real great draft as well. And there's still a lot of talent all around here for New Jersey to round out their team going into their first official season. If you were them, where would you go?
Man, I don't really know. Probably wide receiver. It's the place with the most strength this late in the draft. So I think you get the best bang for your buck at wide receiver.
I think I'd go in the opposite realm on that side. I think I'd see if I could snag one of those really good young cornerbacks. See if you could round out the rest of that team, help out, and then if you have another pick, maybe trade back into the round and get a wide receiver. But I wouldn't want to miss out on the corners. Those are kind of hard to come by.
What's left isn't necessarily, these are project guys. They're going to have to, probably take a season or two, really work on their game to get to that higher level. But guys like Chris Cook, Mason J. Sanders, they're a little bit behind compared to guys like Leon Kennedy and Big House, which were taken really early in the draft.
Yeah, you're right about that for sure. Maybe a linebacker.
But the pick is in.
Interesting. Okay, what you got?
We have out of Arizona State, free safety Bedsheet Jenkins.
That's definitely a name right there for sure. But Bedsheet Jenkins. I love it. That's gonna be fun calling on game day for sure. But great pick once again there for New Jersey. Round out that secondary.
For sure. As we get Arizona up on the clock here for the next 2 picks.
Okay, doubling back again. And let's see where they go from here. in this one. They could definitely go defense again. And one thing we haven't talked about this whole draft, they lost David Sutherland, their first
This
rounder
is true.
from last season, right? So they're going to need someone to supplement for that. I don't know if they particularly picked that up quite yet. They do have Jackson Rodriguez, Amari Jones. They did pick up Tank Falco, but I think they're going to need a little bit more to supplement that. Arizona needs some more help. Actually, to take that back, they also lost Dexter Hall.
True. They did lose
So,
Dexter Hall. There's been a lot of people that have kind of come and gone here, but the pick is the first of these two picks is in here from Arizona.
what they got?
They're going to take another first-time user who chose Virginia Tech, wide receiver Shea Tremani.
I was waiting for Shea to come through in the mix. C4 beast mode, very very active guy for what I've been seeing. Congrats to the big homie right there. And Virginia Tech's one of my favorite colleges too. So great job there from the homie. And who is going to be the number 2?
Well, we are waiting on that right now.
Okay, let's go ahead and get it going. A great pick there. So now they have a wide receiver. They have TJ Matthew, Sean McGowan, and now they have Shea. Where do you go from here? And they also have Jackson Rodriguez as well. I forgot to bring him up as well. Yes.
This is true. So, but I will let you know exactly where they're about to go. It is out of Abilene Christian, strong safety, Lamar Roach.
Lamar Roach doing his thug thizzle. Okay, I ain't mad at you, big homie. Do your thing. And we did talk about they needed help in regards to stopping the passing attack. He could do it all. He could go after the quarterback. He's great at zone coverage, great at man coverage. Can't wait to see Mr. 88 Club do his thing here for Arizona. Shout out to him.
Absolutely. As we get into St. Louis with the 70th overall pick.
Okay, number 70. And what has St. Louis done up to this point? A lot of great picks for them as well. Garrett Hart, free safety. Donovan Jones at wideout. Fort Wayne Blunt Smoke at corner. They got another tight end in Paris Glass. Did they get anyone else? Yes, they did. They got Rocky Butterfingers at wide receiver. And they also have Orlando Woodgang at strong safety. So kind of all over the place, but this is a team, St. Louis, that we already know they're going to be competing for the playoffs. Now they're just trying to build that depth up all the way around.
Absolutely, absolutely. As we still kind of waiting here on St. Louis to figure out who they want.
Where would you go from here after everyone you drafted? Like, what exactly do you need?
I don't really know. I think at this point you just kind of start taking people off the board and, giving them that opportunity to get drafted and then deciding from there, do you want them or do you want to keep your current guys?
I think wide receiver is fine. They have a really great core there. They did let go of Gum Arabic. They did draft Fort Wayne Blunt Smoke. And honestly, cornerback's still a need, in my opinion, for them.
You think so?
I think so. Now, safety, I think they're fine. But cornerback, I think they could use a little bit more work just on the depth side of things. I think they have a real good outside guy in Fort Wayne, but I think they need maybe one more person there just to shore everything up.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you there. We still got a minute left here on this clock, roughly, so give them that time to see if they come in with a pick here. But as we're heading into the 7th round here pretty soon, 2 more picks after this one in the 6th. Getting close to the end.
Been a fun draft all the way around. It's been fun, man. Watching all the new people come in. It was a fun watch in the first day of the draft, the second one as well. And there's a lot of players still available here, and they can still get picked up, obviously, after the draft if they don't get drafted. And hey, we got a lot of things coming on here.
Yeah, for sure. As we get the pick in here from St. Louis.
Alrighty.
And it is going to be out of Tulane, corner, Mason J. Sanders.
I did say they needed something in regards to the secondary. Another championship winning player right there, Mason J. Sanders. Kind of got overshadowed a little bit from the rest of the secondary, but he is always around making plays as well. Shout out to the homie Chase, and I can't wait to see what you do in St. Louis.
As we bring up Charlotte here.
Mix back on the mix right here. And where did they go from here?
And that pick, well, I'll let you know right now. Pick is in.
Okay.
And out of Virginia Tech, it is outside linebacker Maddox Cash.
Maddox Cash. That's such a good name, too, right there. I'm not even going to lie to you. But another great pickup there. Add on to that linebacker core. He's going to be working with one of the best to ever do it, Arn Jacobson. That's going to be a fun matchup as well. And they did lose Tank Falco via retirement, so I can see why they want to add some linebacker core.
For sure. And we get Anchorage up on the clock, and they have their pick ready for us.
Who's that?
Anchorage.
Anchorage, okay. So what do you got, Anchorage?
They are taking out of Abilene Christian corner Kyrell Ramsey.
Kyrell Ramsey. Okay. I see you, big homies. And Anchorage just coming up with all the great players that just created into this league. I see they've been doing your research, Starchy. I ain't mad at you. And real great pick as well. And thank you, Mix, for reminding me Cliff Allen as well, joining that linebacker core. So good job.
As we get New York here to start the 7th round of the draft.
Rounding it off, folks. Still some talent here. Still plenty of talent here in the 7th round. And just because you're a 7th rounder don't mean you won't be a future Hall of Famer either. Like, there's plenty of players that started out at the low level and made some huge strides.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just about what you can, how active you can be, how well you can build your player, and getting yourself into those situations where you can be a star. So, so long as you get,
oh yeah, go ahead.
So long as you make it, that's all that matters.
Amen to that. Still plenty of talent here on the board. New York, they got their quarterback. They're filling themselves. Aaron Nike. Oh yeah, that's another quarterback I was going to ask you. Like, how you feel Aaron Nike is going to be in replacing Cletus Castle?
I think it's a needed change. Cletus just never really reached that ceiling in New York, and it's time to maybe move him off to another younger quarterback, see what they can bring. And Aaron Ike was an absolute beast for Central Florida, and I expect him to do more of the same here in New York.
Most definitely. Can't wait to see what the homies Rye and Potty could do for the New York set. Did their pick come in yet or no?
No, we are still waiting on that pick with 1 minute left to go.
Sweet. But just rounding off the rest of their draftees there, I think they did very well, like on short notice, taking over for a team. They got a great halfback in Rashad Watson. They got Aaron Nike. They got Kareem Washington and Eldrezi for Aaron Nike to throw it to. They went on defense. They got a great outside linebacker and a strong safety in Andy Newsom. A little bit further down, I believe they got one more linebacker. Yes, they did, in Javon Storm. I mean, they pretty much went across the board to add those major pieces, but now it's trying to round it out.
For sure, and the pick is in here, so the New York Mafia have selected from San Diego State corner Chris Cook.
And I was wondering where Chris Cook was going to get taken. He was one of my favorite players out of SD State. And that was definitely a steal right there for sure. Sub 400 in regards to TPE, but just barely. And if you could find that talent in the 7th round, you're doing pretty good.
Absolutely. As we get Arizona up on the clock here.
Arizona, okay. And where do they go from here? I don't think they'll go wide receiver, but if they can make another trade, which they probably would, you never know. Like, no, never know how they're going. But I think more defense could help them out. Honestly, you really can't go wrong either way. Obviously, can't
Well,
do a wide receiver or halfback. So,
the pick is in.
okay, Arizona, what you got?
We have it's one of our first-time users who picked LSU as their college. It is corner Kalen Chase.
Kalen Chase. I've seen him in the chat. He's definitely one of those good movers there. I like what I see from him. Good pick there from Arizona again, rounding out that secondary. They need some help there. You get some help there.
As we move on to Toronto, and their pick comes in immediately.
Okay. I ain't mad at you, Krim. What you got?
We have one of another first-time user who chose Texas. It is wide receiver Davon Carter.
Young buck right there for sure. Davon Carter. I like the kid, and I know where he's from. He's actually pretty heavy into GSB. He's on my team in Portland, so they got himself a really good one. I think he's going to make the homies in Toronto very proud.
For sure, for sure. Let's move over to New Jersey for their last pick of the draft.
A very great draft indeed for them. And what are your thoughts for New Jersey? What should they go for it?
I still feel like they could pick up anything and be a winner. So it really doesn't necessarily matter. But they are going to select out of San Diego State outside linebacker Tiger Band.
Another goated name. I'm not even going to lie to you. Why not end the draft with a goated name? And I do love Tiger Band. He was doing very well in college as well. So definitely a great pickup. New Jersey, you did very, very well all the way around.
All right, Anchorage up next, and they've already got their pick in. So let's go ahead and move straight into it.
Anchorage.
Okay. As another first-time user, we have out of NCU, wide receiver Drew Stowe.
Drew Stowe, and keep on that into that wide receiver core. You got your franchise quarterback. Make sure he got people to throw it to. And that's what I love seeing from Anchorage here right there. Great job. Another great draft team.
For sure. As we get Huntington Beach up on the clock via Tacoma.
Okay. What HBV got?
Well, I'll let you know real soon here.
Okay. He's typing.
He is typing it. It is in.
Okay.
And he is picking someone that is not available anymore.
Oh, you love to see it. Pick still going. We'll keep it moving. Still got wide receivers available. They did let go of JoJo. So, do they double back and try to get maybe that final receiver in their wide receiver core? They got Carlton Banks.
I love it. I love it when Discord does random things.
Oh, yeah, me too.
All right. The pick is indeed in this for real this time.
Okay.
It's going to be another one of our first-time users. It is going to be wide receiver from Western Kentucky, Yuri Lazar.
Yuri Lazar. Mr. Hendricks doing his thing. Hendricks. And like I said, they did let go of JoJo. I think it was a good opportunity to swing by, get another wide receiver to replace him. Yuri's going to be real nice here in Huntington Beach.
as we get Arizona up on the clock here for the 79th overall pick.
Okay. Hey, let me go ahead and get that reset. No quarterbacks needed, from what I can see. Now it's just filling out with what's available. I'm looking at the board. There's still some great corners available. Actually,
There's one.
well,
There's Kratos Merciless from University of Louisiana Lafayette.
yeah. Oh, that's the last one.
But that is the last one.
No,
So
no shit. Okay.
but Arizona's got the pick in here.
Okay.
It is going to be from Abilene Christian wide receiver Greg Davis.
Greg Davis, another great pick there. And keep adding on to that wide receiver group right there. Arizona needs some more targets to make that offense move. And they're starting to pick it up with these late draftees right here. Can't be mad at it.
For sure. As we do have a trade to announce here for the 80th overall pick.
Oh, God.
It's the last one, I promise, barring any catastrophes.
Okay, bet. Well, we have it up. Let's get to it. What you got?
All right. Arizona is going to receive kicker Felix De La Champ in exchange for kicker Carolina Andri. So you can say that name.
Yeah, Andrionic.
Yeah, that. And the 80th overall pick in the Season 9 draft. So Huntington Beach up on the clock.
It's an interesting pick. Felix, he's been a mainstay here for that Huntington Beach team. And maybe they see something in Carolina that Arizona couldn't quite produce on. I know she's a youngin', so maybe that could help him out in that regard. But we'll see how that works out for Huntington Beach. They still have a pick right here. Where are they going to go with that?
Well, it's going to go to... it's going to be out of University Louisiana Lafayette, cornerback Kratos Merciless.
That's such a great name too, right there. All these crazy names, I love it. But another great pickup here for Huntington Beach. Do they have one more pick?
Well, it's going to go from the 80th overall pick back to Toronto.
Okay, great job there nonetheless. And it's Toronto on the board. So...
Excuse me.
Still have a chance to upgrade on Mr. Carr with Richard Dickey, Dan Norris. Unless they like what they see with Carr and see they want to revitalize his career.
Well, it is going to be out of Baylor, wide receiver Chris Sunseri.
Chris Sunseri, good job there. And I can't wait to see what he does. Another solid draft pick here for Toronto. And who is next?
It's going to be St. Louis.
St. Louis. A lot of wide receivers available still. Actually, not that much. There's only a couple.
There's just two.
Yes.
Yeah, we were down to the last handful of players here, so there's only two guys left.
That aren't quarterbacks.
Yep. So really just kind of up to them if they want to take one of those two wide receivers or let them pass.
Well, that's a good deal then if everyone got selected in the 7 rounds except for quarterbacks. Except for the quarterbacks. That sucks for you guys, but everyone else got picked. Yeah. But that is kind of the process, though. You know, like the quarterback position really depends on activity at the position. So,
yep.
If they're active, then there's not a lot of places you can go.
For sure, and it's really hard to get turnover in that position too. So, kind of have to hope and pray that there is a spot open for you when you get there.
For sure. Even though there's going to be some point where these older quarterbacks, like your James West, your Falcos, they're going to be getting up in age, but it's not that time yet. So, got a little wait.
Yeah.
Is St. Louis still decided? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Actually, let me reset. They're at 1 minute. Sorry. Still got Tom Bradshaw the second at wide receiver, 321 TPE, and Nathan Noble from Baylor with 316 TPE.
Well, as we wind down here, the pick is going to come in,
Okay.
and it is going to be out of Texas Tech quarterback Richard Dickey.
Wait, what? I heard what you said. Really?
Yeah, no, really. It's they got auto picked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. But still solid pick. Still solid pick nonetheless. There. I mean, could be a great quarterback that could learn under one of the greatest of all time. So it's something. But he's not going to be there for long because there's only one quarterback per team.
Yeah.
He'll be in the boardroom with them, like in the film room for like 1 or 2 days, and he'll say, "Okay, I'll see you later. Bye bye."
Yeah, something like that. Professional tryout gone wrong. But it is up now to mix
With Charlotte.
with Charlotte. Yep.
Okay. Do you want to draft one of these players available? These are left right here. Interesting.
And they are going to draft
Okay.
out of Rutgers wide receiver Tom Bradshaw II.
Okay, big move there. I think there was some rumbling about what they're going to do for their fourth receiver spot. Tom Bradshaw II, welcome to the gold and purple and blue.
And for Mr. Irrelevant, the 82nd overall pick of the draft, I believe. Let me double check that. Maybe 84th. It is the 84th overall pick in this draft.
Mm-hmm. And who does that go to?
Well, it's going to either be quarterback Dan Norris or wide receiver Nathan Noble. So take your pick.
What team?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay. I mean, can't have all those receivers. You already got a quarterback, so I'd say take the wide out.
Yeah,
Nathan.
we'll see kind of who they want to crown as Mr. Irrelevant. But it does kind of get tough towards the end of the draft, and you start getting clogged up for space.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Irrelevant, the 84th overall pick, is going to be out of Baylor wide receiver Nathan Noble.
That's expected for sure. Getting that solid pick there to close out the draft. Just ridiculous.
Absolutely, and congratulations to everyone in the draft. Thank you to all of our teams and all of you guys for showing up. The Season 9 USFA entry draft is officially closed.
Whew. That was a long one right there for sure, but well worth it. A lot of great pieces go into all these different teams. Best of luck. And before we close out, who won the draft? Like, you gotta let me know who won the draft.
I don't know quite yet. I'd have to go through and really look at it, but really tough to say.
Yeah, really tough. I have two choices. Well, technically, my top three would be Tampa, Huntington Beach, and Pittsburgh. Not necessarily in that order, but I think all of them got pieces that could fit their mold right then and there. And I believe that they have the right area where they want to go. I think these three teams in particular will be playoff teams. No cap. I will be very surprised if these three teams or one of those three teams won't make it. But congrats to them. Congrats to all of them, though. Like, just like I said earlier, I think every team hit. I think every team got better for sure.
Yeah,
Especially
absolutely.
every team got better, and can't wait to see how it looks up. I'm going to be creating them into the roster tonight and tomorrow. Going to be interesting to see it unfold, huh?
Yeah, no, this is going to be real fun to get put into the systems here. So thank you again, everyone. I am going to go bury my head in some work here.
Yeah, you and me both, man. But we're gonna close it out here. Thanks again, all the people in the chat from yesterday to today. It wouldn't have been possible without you guys. And we're going to go ahead and keep it moving. Season 9 is coming up, and we got the Pro Bowl coming up soon, so watch out for that. But until then, we'll talk to you later. Stay safe. Ah.